Right then. Dreadnoughts and other nice little stuff I can research finally. Around 1910 is when stuff really starts to heat up. For those who don't know, around 1910 was when basically nations ran really strong, like nations are starting to assemble their dreadnoughts and stuff. Basically, this is like the time just before World War I happened. So the technology is like there to make some really scary ass armies. Let's build a lot of stuff. My budget's actually doing pretty well at this point. Let's maybe drop some stuff down a little bit. Lower these guys' taxes a little bit, help them out. So for this basic episode, I got a fairly simple plan. I basically want to up my military, for my navy here for the dreadnoughts. Users just prevent they decide to allow foreigners to be tried according to the laws of their native countries, doubtless caused by pressures from within the circle of the great powers. These are good news, nevertheless. We are pleased. Very nice. Now let them lower their militancy. I think at this point we're going to start to see less rebels actually pop up now, just because there's so many rebellions. So many rebellions I had to put down. I'm getting my influence in Yemen back up. Finally. I'll use this to decrease the repelling of the United States a little bit. Nope, no alliance for you, Netherlands. You're too liable to be attacked. So more or less right now, I think we'll probably make our attack on Yemen soon. I play him up to rank 6. Probably for my dreadnoughts there. Alright, they've been knocked back down to a miserable state. So this will be nice. I can basically decrease relations. Sounds like a naval port just got built. Although those bastards just raise up their relations even further. Alright, I can justify a war to conquer these guys. We'll establish a protectorate. Unite my lands! Let's see here, we'll bring this guy up to right there. There's rebels in Spain. There's rebels in Spain somewhere, but I'm not sure where. Oh, over here in Cuba. There's anarcho-liberals here in Cuba, apparently. Oh, I got caught right away. But oh well, I'll basically take Yemen, unite my my countries, you know, to be really close to each other. And I spoke too soon. Apparently, we're still gonna have a few rebels. Of course, it's just those few guys right there, so nothing really to worry about. Let's get social alienation to keep bumping up my technology. Kaboom. Very nice prestige. Now let's see here. I can build an airport right here, so let's do that. So now I basically need to get my naval bases up to be one more level, but they're big enough right now that I can build up my my Dreadnought battleships. We'll just build 3, I guess. 3 more of those Dreadnoughts. Basically, the Dreadnoughts, they add to your military score quite a bit for each one you basically get built. You don't want to build too many compared to like your cruisers. You don't want to have some cruisers in your fleet, but it's good to have a bunch of Dreadnoughts. And for those who don't know the history, Dreadnoughts were like these like mean, really mean mega ships of the like World Wars. This was before I knew how to sink, you know, giant ships with like, you know, single missiles and such. Cool, Martin Steel. Gurkhas, Askaris, and Chiliars. I was born under Persian rule. All my life I was dressed in Persian clothes, been taught and spoken the language of Persian. It should not surprise anyone that I'm willing to die for my country. The tradition of support for Persian and Persian rule has taken hold in one of our colonies, and several natives have expressed support for ideas that have floated about the colonial office for some time, as setting up native military regiments to help maintain order in our colonies. Alright, so I can get less militancy, or a fantastic idea that we should spare no effort in implementing. So there's some interesting stuff I can basically do with this stuff. I like this idea of getting prestige, so let's go with that. And for those who don't know what the Gurkhas were, basically I think the Britain, more like War II I think it was, or World War I, I can't remember. Britain had like a bunch of like these Gurkhas, and they basically held off the Japanese armies in India, or maybe Burma. I can't remember which one. Conquer you. You will be conquered. I would like to conquer Ethiopia, but oh well. Mistake was made, mistake was made. Western Hubei apparently has a crisis blooming for us. This is apparently out in China. So, crisis over liberation of Yuan. Russia's backing the Chinese former province, and Japan here is does not who to support. So that's an interesting idea. China over here. in Russia. I think Russia would win a battle against China even though they have a higher military score China does. It's just that, you know, they have strong troops, but they're not that strong in reality. It's interesting how like this Chinese empire over Tibet over here. Alright, I can go right there, right there. Conquer it all. So Abadan has oil. Right there, oil. Right next to Avaz. Getting plenty of oil. I'll send you guys this way. Sounds like I built another port. I think it's just those two building right now. The rest of my ports have been built. I can go in here. Karachi, Kagan, Jask, Bella. Lots and lots of dreadnoughts. I'll probably stop building dreadnoughts at this point and start building my cruisers again, but it'd be a real cool way of making, basically getting my military power up. Alright, proposed peace. I'm just going to eat you. I forgot something. Oh well, just have to send out my transports. You guys can go here. Right there. Shouldn't take me long. And of course, someone decides to phone me right as I'm recording this video, of course. So one moment, just gonna pause the recording. Nonsense calls nonsense. Nothing more to say. So right then. Proposed peace, they're gonna accept this offer. Boink, we ate Yemen. So basically this means I can walk all through my territories now, because I took Yemen. That's the only real reason I basically hit Yemen right there, because I can basically walk between these provinces here. I've got all these guys able to hunt rebels as needed. Well, another crash there. I bet we're gonna have to reconquer Yemen, but I assume it'll just be a minor annoyance. See, I was over here conquering Yemen a little bit. And there we go. Yemen's reconquered. Raise the tariffs. Alright, so this crisis is still going. So what Russia basically wants from China is that they basically, Union basically gives up, or not Union gives up, Union acquires back all its core stuff again. Basically weaken China is what Russia's after. I'm gonna actually try and do this. We're actually gonna try and support this side. I don't actually have to support this side, but basically, this should basically, you know, force China to have to, like, give up. We're probably not gonna like China in a moment, but oh well. Start boosting up relations with Sweden and the Netherlands, I guess. Interventionism. Excellent. Just these two provinces to build stuff in. Well, isn't this a fun screen to see again? I'm kind of glad I set it to be monthly so that if the game crashes, I'm not losing, like, you know, half a year or a year. At least Yemen's conquered now. Alright, I'm still backing over here. Looks like this crisis is about to bloom. Well, we've gotten to a point where I'm going to have to start boosting up my military for sure. One nice thing though about being an army complex nation though is I'll be able to boost up my military attack very, very quickly. And China's just over here boarding me, so... Just do. We're just gonna rambush all these guys into China. Alright, now, Yunnan. This is Guangxi over here. This is Yunnan. So Yunnan is this country with all these cores over in this direction. Mainly, when I get in here, we'll have to be sieging up over here. I probably know these guys are going to give me military access, sadly. That's going to be a bit of an issue. Well, I might just wait for China to come to me then. So let's get on, China. Alright, where's Karachi? That's over here. I'm gonna get this to start building up in our Dreadnought. Just because of the simple fact that even if this goes over, I'm gonna be building up this shipyard here soon. Isn't this lovely? I'm gonna be able to make use of my Dreadnoughts. And Persian comets took a really bad time to pop out. And yeah, again, I have to send these guys rebel hunting. Well, you're gonna go right there then. Rebels, they're so annoying. You know what? We're actually gonna accept this alliance now of Netherlands, just on a simple reason that I think I might be able to call them into this war, perhaps. Though I think Russia might be the war leader, so it might not be possible with us. Alright, so basically China's accepted the crisis offer from Russia. Essentially, Union gets to acquire all its stuff here and become a country again, so woohoo for them. This is still a puppet over here, but whatever. So that's a nice little, you know, thing not to worry about. And more rebels. This is the perfect time for rebels to pop up left and right. Whatever. I'll deal with them all. Build more infantry here and there. I think once this election over, we'll call it for this episode, because I'm getting really tired of all the crashes. I'm really gonna have to replace my graphics card because this is showing its worth when it comes to, like, say, video like with Victoria 2 here. Alright, there's conservatives. They've won their vote again. Let's try and beat back all these rebels first, if possible. And more rebels! Everyone's revolting! Hey, look at that, Japan's offering alliance. Sure, why not? So I'm allied to Japan, the Netherlands, and Spain at the moment. I kind of hate how infamy sort of affects your relationship with people. Okay. China's allied to me. Bit more research here. I'll basically think get all the 4 techs going down here for military just to boost up my military by quite a bit. Sure, why not? Let's just ally everyone. At this point, I don't really care about if I break alliances left and right. That's it for the rebels, I guess. They've been wiped out. Crap. Alright, what do you want? You're going after Netherlands, France, and Austro-Hungary. You and Belgium. Wow, apparently Netherlands is stronger than France. You know what? I'm actually going to accept this call. And because of our superior strength and unmatched leadership, we have assumed leadership in the war against Netherlands, France, and Austro-Hungary. For now on, we will handle all negotiations. So, much like how the Americans sort of took over, or maybe it's Germany who took over war leadership, I basically took over war leadership here because I'm stronger than the Germans. Mostly because of my Dreadnoughts. Basically, my Dreadnoughts have really helped me out here because of, you know, the capital shifts are like 350 score right there. That's basically where all my score's coming from. But alright, I got some guys down here. Let's send them over here. There's a giant French army right there, actually. Let's actually try and smash that army. Now, I'm not actually as well equipped as the French, but if I mass up all my troops, you know, into a big giant stack, I should be able to smash his army easily enough. These guys can go hit up Persia, or not Persia, over here in the Netherlands. I know a bad thing here about this is that I broke my alliance with the Netherlands, I think, as a result of being called into this war. I'm not sure actually how that works, if, like, you know, one ally calls into war against the other ally. Though it's worth knowing, if I want to, I can actually start calling other people into my war. Like, I can go to Spain here and say, hey, you want to come into my war? He's unlikely. But I go after the other guys. Japan. So I can call Japan to my war if I want to, but... Oh, their tech isn't actually too bad. Okay, let's call them into my war. We'll call them. China's, of course, still terrible, but I could come into the war. Just give myself a massive military advantage over French and all that. I'll just call Japan in for now, I think. Alright, so it's worth knowing you can pass through the Suez Canal even if you don't own the actual Suez Canal. I'm essentially just going to pass through the British there. But maybe I'll build my last few Dreadnoughts up first, and then we'll do that. That might make more sense to do. I can build our Dreadnought if I want to. Build a Dreadnought here. Okay, that's a little too much. Cruiser 2, but whatever. We'll build up a couple more Dreadnoughts here. That'll make me have a very impressive fleet. And right, yeah, as you can see, he's already coming after me. Alright, looks like Japan joined me into my military alliance here. And just look at him occupy so damn fast. I don't think even I can occupy that fast. And the main thing here to note is that they're able to occupy this fast because I don't have forts or anything in these provinces. Are you moving or not? So, this guy moves kind of slow, apparently. That's not good. I might be losing his army in a moment. Or at least, it's going to get attacked regardless. Yeah, let's look at the damage I'm taking right there. Well, I'm dealing some damage back to him. That's cool. So the French army is strong, but it's not too strong. Start retreating, please. So France are already trying to occupy that one little space. Sit right there. Royal hunting can be cool, but it can also be really annoying at sometimes. Okay, there we go. These guys are all masked up. Send these guys up this way. Look at that, they've got more armies down here for me to deal with. Alright, I'm gonna have to pull all my troops more or less, I think, at this point to start going after him, so... all you guys just keep going this way, I guess. So it looks like I'll be attacking most of French's armies. I don't expect they'll have much problems, the Germans, like smashing up France up here. Because it looks like they've got most of their brigades coming after me. So Germany should have no problem smashing into them like a, you know, hot knife through butter, so to speak. Oops. What's happening here? Why am I got less than what I need for ships? Must be being blockaded somewhere. Oh, he sees me over here is what's happening. So, because he sees me up here, I'm actually a little bit over my limit for ships, which is hurting me a little bit. Smash up that our province. I lost that province, but oh well. Looks like he's going to try attacking me, so maybe if I'm lucky I can catch up to this guy over here. Just before he gets destroyed. I'm actually fighting the French in the hills here, so I actually have a small bonus to attacking him, I think. Basically, if you're in hills, you get a small bonus to your defense, which helps you out a lot. Come on, get in there. Yes. So there we got more troops in them. So I'm fighting him on the defense, and I've got a massive troop advantage on this guy. Of course, he's rolling really well. I think after this battle's done, I'll end it right here for this game. Decline of the West and the Lost Generation. Now, why is he hurting me so damn much? Alright, so this guy's actually an attacking general, so... it looks like this is actually a bad sort of situation because he's actually got a fairly decent general for attack, and I've got a poor one for defense. I am holding on, but I'm taking massive losses in the process here. So it's hurting me nonetheless. That's disgusting how many troops I'm losing. It shows you, though, as well, just how effective a stronger military can be, even if you have the numbers. Like, he's got negative terrain, he's got negative crossing. And even with, like, a good roll like that, I'm only, like, you know, just doing a little bit more damage than I need to win. Get all these troops going over. If I take out this one army, it should be at least some decent war score, at least. And my army can always heal up eventually. Looks like I'm winning, though, eventually. I am sort of winning. You guys can all merge up. I'm actually going to send these guys on blockading spree. I don't think the French have as strong as navy as me either, so... Well, they don't have any navy, so I can send my guys out here and start blockading their stuff. Nice, some artillery. Now, it's worth knowing I'm actually taking some massive losses to my economy because these guys are attacking me. So I may have to start taxing my guys up a little bit. Just for the war. Look at that, we managed to fight him off. He's running away with his tail between his legs to Boar over here. I'm actually going to send these guys as a chase. Chase him right to Boar. I still have a lot of French to kill, but that's actually a fairly good start to beating them back. So let's just say that'll be it for this episode, and I'll see you guys in the next one.